If we close over 39.20 today, then we'll put on a high low on the weekly HL. I'm assuming it's high low on the weekly. If we close over 39.20 today, where we already did close, we're 39.15, 39.1975. Bob, can you please elaborate more on how did you, how do I get these levels? Well, that's not really what this session is for. I don't want to, that'll take time. I have to start breaking down the charts and showing all the charts and, how I get these levels. And, that's a whole class. I do a whole class on that. I mean, as a matter of fact, I've got a class next week. And, when I scheduled this class, I wasn't really looking at the calendar, my other calendar that said I was having this surgery. They both kind of, when I scheduled this class, the surgery came up right around the same time. I think the surgery, that I needed, the surgery came up after I scheduled the class, like right after it. And I wasn't thinking that they were within 5 days of each other or seven, when my surgery is Tuesday and the class is the following Tuesday. I hope I'm able to do it. I should be able to sit down. I'll be fine. But we'll see. We'll wing it. But yeah, I have a class where I teach that whole thing in there. I mean, and a lot more. It's all technical analysis. It's 3 days, 8 hours a day. And but so yeah, I could go on to, forever on how to get these levels because they're done in many different ways. Or different charts, different formation, different patterns that you see. But shorty, yes, if it goes below 38.68, or if the AM open is below 38.68 and goes off below the open. Oh, it sounds like you're reading something that I've tweeted. Well, those are my levels. What are we doing with those levels? Those are targets. That if it goes through one level, the next level that we have is our target. As a surfer, our goal is to get to the shoreline. We're, paddle 200 yards out, catching a nice wave. And our objective is to make it all the way to the shoreline. Well, that's what I'm doing when I'm trading. When I have my levels, whether they're diagonal levels or horizontal, lines that I've got drawn on the chart, my objective is to get from one to the next without getting stopped out. Sometimes I get stopped out in the middle because the market pulls back and I happen to move the stop, protect some of the money, and, the market pulled back a little more than I thought it would, and, I got stopped out. I mean, that does happen. But, I'm looking at all these levels, the numbers that I tweet. Basically, I'm trying to catch a trend, and as it's going, as it's approaching my next level, I'm tightening up a stop, protecting some money. If it goes through that level, I'm going to do what I've seen all these people, Mickey Norton and Richard Dennis and Bill Shepard and Randy McKay, and I could name a bunch of other people that you would not know who the names are, but they're superstars on the trading floor. They were. And, what do they do? What have I watched these guys do? And they make tons and tons of money. But, you can lose tons and tons of money if you don't manage your risk the right way. I'm going to keep on saying that. But they're going to add on to their position. So if we approach one of these levels and I tighten up my stop a little bit, protect some of the money in case that level does happen to be strong and holds, and then the market turns around, I don't give back my entire profit. I protected some money. But if it goes through that level, there's my add-on point. I like to add on. Anyone, if they learned about trading from someone, if that person's worth anything in trading, they should have been teaching you never add to losers. That's the biggest mistake you could possibly make, is adding to a losing position, figuring, well, I'll just double up, and then the market only has to come back 50% of the move of the way, and I'll break even. And I watch people do that regularly too, and next thing you know, they're broke. They busted out. So we can't do that. So we don't add to losers. We add to our winners. So if we were along the S&Ps today and catching this breakout through this little level, maybe you want to add to your position. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be tightening up my stop. And then as it's going through that, if it goes through that level, and I didn't get stopped out, I'll put on another one. I'll add a little bit to the position. And you keep pyramiding as you're going from one level to the next. Because sometimes it'll go through 2 or 3 of these levels in one day. And you catch a nice little move. Once you start seeing how the market actually moves, holding this trade overnight won't be that difficult. Because when you're trading the financials, overnight is really just an hour. 5 to 6 Eastern time, 1 hour. Markets open 23 hours. So the S&Ps looks like it's maybe trying to turn a little bit. I see something that just came in here. My entries are on breakouts. Yeah, I play the breakouts. I'm either adding on a breakout, or I'm getting in on a breakout. I want to get in with the momentum. That doesn't mean the momentum's going to stay that way, and I'm going to automatically make money. Believe me, I lose. But you want to stack the odds in your favor, and if you're trading the momentum and you're going with the breakout, a lot of people don't want to buy breakouts because they're buying higher. They don't like the term buy high. They like to sell high and buy low. What's wrong with buy high and sell higher? We could do that. Buy high and sell higher. That's what we're doing on breakouts. The whole world is short and we're breaking out of a level. Those shorts got to get out. That means as it's breaking out, they're going to be buying in those shorts. That's what's pushing the market up in our direction. If everyone's trying to sell off this level that we've been stuck at in the S&Ps, at that level, close to that level, they're all trying to sell there because the market's been holding for the last few months. And now it's starting to break through. They're going to have to buy in their shorts or take some bigger losses they're holding. Right now I'm looking at this, and this looks like it's going to go up to, if it just goes up to that line, that's a huge move. That line, that level there is 39.1975, so say 39.20. This line next week is coming in at approximately 40.64. What is that? It's 144 points higher. I'll take 144 points any day of the week. That's over $6,000. Well, you got to work a week for it, but things could be worse. And it could do that in a day. Oh, I don't know. This is a day. I thought I was on the weekly chart. We could see it almost made that type of a move today. So getting up to that line on Monday, it's not, out of the question. I'm not saying it will, but if it stays, it closed above that line. by a little bit. Closed above it, but, you know, little bit counts. Closed on the highs, near the highs, really. It's the biggest move we've had in a few weeks. It showed strength throughout the day. So I think this might be turning around. But it's got to break that level. We got to see it breaking these levels that we've got marked on the screen here. Where's something else going? Let's take a look at the currencies, because let's see, we got about, you know, another 30, 40 minutes where we could do this, and then I got to fly. I don't know what the traffic's going to be like going there. During the day, I could get there, you know, real easy. Actually, that's before rush hour. I should be able to make it there fairly quick. Currencies. I mentioned, you know, the stock market's going down, and we're getting lower highs and lower lows. If the stock market's going down, something's got to be going on with currencies around the world. I mean, we're not the only place that's experiencing, you know, recessionary, or experiencing that. There's stuff going on all over the world. Things changing. Australian dollar. Let's start with the monthly chart. Well, it had a nice move. If we look, you know, from 2018 to 2020, for 2 years, the Australian dollar has been going down. It went up the following year, almost 100% retracement. And now it just went down, and, you know, almost, you know, probably looks like about 75%. And it's turning around. It's not looking that bad on the monthly chart, although it needs to go above last month's high.
Order filled.
Where's the weekly chart look like it's going? It's got to take out that line. And then we've got a line far away. Not real far away, but far enough where we can make some decent money if it goes from one point to the next. And then you look at the daily chart. Looks like for the last, you know, month and a half or so, 2 months, we've been going sideways, up and down, but sideways. Small range, 66.14 to 16. Actually, it's a little bigger range than I thought, but 66.14 to 69. You know, 300 points. It's a decent move. I'll take those moves. But where is it at now? If you look at where is it at, it's sitting at resistance. It's probably not going any higher. Might go a little bit higher, but, you know, we've got those lines there. It shouldn't go through them. It shouldn't, but, you know, nothing's 100%. It could. My guess is it's going to hold those lines. But I change my opinion quite often. I don't stick to my opinion, because when you stick to your opinion, that's when you go broke. So I don't stick to my opinion. I just let the market tell me what to do, and then I follow. The Australian dollar looks like it's going sideways for now. It can't break out of a range, but, you know, I could still trade it. I just need to see something happening. The charts, you know, give me a reversal pattern, a continuation pattern, show me something. So I'm not seeing much in the Australian dollar, but, you know, we're talking about the year of 2023. Where does it look like it's going? On the long term, or a little bit longer term, the weekly chart, let's take out this level. Right now, it looks like we're going up. Last few months, you know, even going up. Nice little rally going on. Can it keep on going? So we got the Aussie starting to go up. We'll look at a few more currencies and then we'll go into some of the grains. Canadian dollar. It's not a good line. I just threw that in for something. I was playing with that chart. Monthly. All right, we were starting to go down about the middle of 21, and it just started drifting lower. Now it kind of looks like we're going sideways somewhat. I can't make a decision based on this chart for anything. Let's squeeze it together a little bit more. This is the Canadian dollar. Canada wants their currency less than ours. You won't see the Canadian dollar higher than our dollar. I've seen it. And I've never seen it like that when I was on the trading floor. Because Canada doesn't want their dollar real high because they make a lot of money when they're importing, or not importing, when they're exporting oil and lumber. They're a big exporter in both of those, oil and lumber. So as long as they have a cheap dollar, everyone's coming to them for their product. Two times, right over here and over here, I saw the Canadian dollar go above our dollar. These were only two times. I was shocked at this one because up until this over here in 2007, I've never seen the Canadian dollar that high. And that was my primary market that I traded. I hung out in the Canadian dollar pit. So, I mean, it wasn't the only market I traded, but that's kind of where I hung out. And I've never seen it there. Trading the Canadian dollar has always been between 68 and maybe 82 cents. Kind of traded in that range, you know, for 20 some years that I've been on that floor. So where does this look like it's going? Are we coming back down to these lows? Let's see these lows over here. This whole range. I don't know, it's going to hold that area. Might be holding it now. We're that much higher. I mean, it's holding it, but it's holding it at a higher level. And right now, if you look at that chart, it's a green bar. It looks like it's going higher. I mean, it doesn't show much. What does the weekly chart tell me? Ah. I have a little minor trend. I mean, it's not the greatest trend line in the world by any means, but it's given me kind of a direction of where the market is going. Because I have two touches of that line and I need more than two touches. I don't really consider that a valid line, but it gives me an idea of where this market's going. It's breaking this trajectory. Are we coming back up to these highs? Right now, those highs at 75.10, with us sitting at 74.55, I'm seeing $700, $600 plus dollars over there. That's on one contract. It's a $600 move. Let's see, am I correct on that? Right now it's at 74.45, and that line is coming in at 75.71. Oh no, it's more. It's a $1,300 move on one contract. That's not a bad move. Canadian dollar it costs you somewhere around $2,000, I think, is the margin on Canadian dollar to trade one Canadian dollar contract. I say this all the time, and I see someone made a comment in here, currencies are the best. And they are. I mean, they move, they trend real well. They don't move real fast. They could. I mean, they could go into it, they could move fast. Certain announcements come out or certain things happen, certain news, happens. But they trend real well. It's a nice market to trade, and it's not as expensive as crude oil, gold, S&Ps. It's not as expensive as those markets to trade. It's cheaper when you're wrong because most of the currencies are $5 a tick or $6.25 a tick. It depends on the currency. It's between $5 and $6.25 a tick, one or the other. So it's a little cheaper also to learn on as well. And they trend real good. So are we going to be coming up to this shoreline over here? It looks like we're kind of breaking the trajectory of where that's going. And again, that's not a real good line. So I don't want to portray this as a trend line because it really isn't. It's just something I'm using for, to kind of predict where this market's going. And is this the next stop? This might look a little bit clearer on the daily chart. I'm not seeing any huge moves like yearly moves where I'm saying, oh, this is going to be, 500 points higher by the end of the year. At least not yet on anything we've looked at. Here's our daily chart of the Canadian dollar. Just as the Australian dollar has been going sideways, the Canadian dollar seems to be going sideways, but it broke out of one little level. Is it getting ready to, move? We got a little resistance coming up around this next line over here, which is 74.80, which is about 500, a little better than $500 from where we're closed at right now. Oh no, I take it back. We closed at 74.45. And this is 74.80. It's $350 up to this line from where we're at right now.
Order filled.
The closing price. There's another $350 about. But where does it look like it's going? Is it turning around? It's hard to say right now because I'm seeing it going sideways. We're getting a very broad mix of things to trade right here. I really don't have a whole lot of time. I cannot miss this appointment. Japanese yen. Another good market to trade. I actually talked about this on Twitter. I believe I talked about it on Twitter. I know it was in my newsletter. I talked about the bull flag that we had over here. And then on the breakout, I had a measured move that was a little higher than where it stopped at. A little more than a little. It made it about 65, 70% of where I thought it was going to go to. But what happened when it broke out of the flag? It had a nice little rally over there. I know I talked about it on Twitter. So there is an example of a chart telling you where it's going, and where does it look like it's going when you look at this a little bit longer term. I'm seeing higher highs and higher lows right now. I think the yen turned around. Yen has been going down and down and down. If we look at it. So it's been going down for a couple years. Well, I don't know if it's a couple of years. Let's see. Where did it start over here? This is March of 22. So about a year. All year it's been going down. Well, for about 9 months, now it seems to be rolling over a little bit. Look like it's moving higher. I think we're going to see some action in the yen. That could be leading the way. There's a biggie. No one trades it. We had a nice breakout on the monthly chart. I believe I was talking about this on Twitter as well. We broke out of resistance over here. This move, me personally, I wouldn't have been able to hold that for a month because, the nature of the way I move my stops and, manage my risk, there were moves in that month that were also pullbacks to the downside. And those are, where I get stopped out at was when it's doing that. But when you look at this, someone like a Mickey Norton would have kept this for about the whole month, possibly even longer. I've watched her do it many times. It's just, I never had the stomach for it, for holding, or at least for taking the swings. The holding part isn't the hard thing. It's watching the swings, watching the money that you give back is the hard thing. Now, it's a little easier for her to do it because she's worth, a huge amount of money. But what do we have over here? Sorry about that. I knocked you guys over on the screen. Let's see any questions that popped in here on space. I want to make sure I get those. And I don't see any questions coming in, so good. Let's see, been playing corn lately. Appreciate your levels. You know what? I'm glad to see someone is trading corn. Not that I have anything to do with corn or anything like that. It's just another market. Because the S&Ps isn't going to always be busy. Gold isn't going to always be doing something. And neither is crude oil times. I mean, those seem to be the markets that most people trade. Gold, crude oil, S&Ps, NASDAQ, no one's looking at the Canadian dollar, no one's looking at the Mexican peso, no one's looking at corn, no one's looking at live cattle, no one's looking at lean hogs. But they move. And how many times are you looking at the S&Ps and gold and crude oil and they're not doing anything? And you don't see a trade. So you got two options there. You can either sit on your hands and do nothing, which is a smart thing to do if you don't see any trades. And then you have the other group that forces a trade. Wow, I haven't made a trade all day. I've been sitting here for 5 hours. I can't believe I haven't done anything. And then you're just looking for something in crude oil, gold, or S&Ps. And then you just take a trade because it looks good. You found it on a 5-minute chart. It looks like it's a decent trade. And it turns out you lost money on it. If you're not seeing it, it's not there. Go to where it is. You might find it in crude oil. You might find it in cattle. You might find it in corn or soybean. That's why I play corn. Cheap trade, solid moves. Cattle, great too. I wish everyone thought that way. Corn and cattle aren't always moving. They don't always give you a nice little play. So you'll find it in something else. Soybean, wheat, hogs. It'll be there. As traders, does it really matter what you're trading? Our end result that we're trying to achieve is to make money. I don't care how I make my $500 today. I don't care if I make it in the S&Ps or the Mexican peso. I need to make $500 a day in order to make a little better than $100,000 a year.
And we
and
can't stop once we hit $500 today. Because on the days that we lose, we got to make up for all that. So we need a little buffer. You don't stop when you hit your goal. My mouth is so dry. Okay, so now the euro, you're looking at the monthly chart, it had a nice little breakout. Seems to be pausing. What does that pause look like on the weekly chart? We broke out above the trend right over here. The weekly chart gave you the move as well, that one week. You had a few fake outs there. That's a weekly trend line. You got to playing it when it's happening. Looks like it's topping out right now. Let's see if we could just take out last week's high at green bars high. Hope I didn't lose anyone on space. Let me just see. Nope, still got you guys. Okay. Looking at the daily, also going sideways. Let's look at the grains. Let's look at corn. Let's see. Here we go. Corn.
Order filled.
We got a little support over here. Where it seems to be holding that level. We broke through it a little bit this week. This little low that went below the line. Right over here. So the monthly support was tested a little bit. And then it came back. We need to see it below that line. But what does the weekly look like? Because that's going to lead the way. That leads to lead the way to the monthly. The weekly also took out that line this week. A little bit. Takes out that line and it goes to the next shoreline right over here. And takes this out. Our next level is down here at 60 and 2/8. So it looks like you could be seeing a nice move. But corn has been gradually going up all year. It's had its little pullbacks, a little sideways action. But you look at the higher highs and the higher lows. Up until this past year. Right over here. We got a lower high, but we didn't get a lower low. So technically what you're seeing over here, let me draw it. So you're seeing a little triangle at the top of that move. Triangles are continuation patterns. That means this move is probably going higher. I said probably. Because nothing's 100%. It looks like we're holding this line. If we hold this line, if we can't break through this line, it sure does bottom over here. Yeah, what is that? 60, where's that low? Yeah, 635. No, I'm not seeing it on the screen over here. So if we go below that low, forget about all bets are off on that triangle up there. And it could be the greatest triangle in the world. And it has everything in trading. Nothing is 100%. But what if we take out this line? I'm seeing a nice little level, nice little run down here, and it could easily get to this. Really get down to 570. What is that, like 557? Could easily get down there in 1 month. Get down there in 1 week, things start going really crazy. But there's our monthly, it's still looking good until it takes out this level. Our weekly is still looking good until it takes out this level. What does the daily look like? Well, it's a little minor level. We took this level out this week. That was a nice little, just one day. This day here, followed by this. That was a nice move right there. That move should have made your week. That's when these pay off. When you can make your week in 1 or 2 days. I think it's still going lower because we have a little gap down here, these blue lines that I've got drawn here, and these blue lines down here, those are gaps in the market. And gaps tend to get filled when the market's correcting, and maybe we're in a little correction right now. Maybe we're going to go for those gaps. I'm saying maybe because I don't really know for sure, but I'll take one day at a time. And I'll play this market accordingly by what the charts are telling me. And if I don't see anything in corn, okay, thank you for that friendly reminder, because I was starting to get into this corn thing, and I was going to lead into soybeans and the other grains. I'm going to be leaving in about 5 minutes. I shouldn't be that far away. The only thing that'll kill me is the traffic if it's bad. But I think it's still early enough where I'll be able to catch it. Let's look at soybean. Because no one's looking at soybean. We got a similar line right over here as we had on wheat. Or corn rather. Here's our weekly line. It's holding the same way. Now looking at that weekly chart, that looks like what's called a ascending triangle. And I just lost it, so let's find it. I'm getting ready to wind this up just because I don't want to hold them up at the place. Ascending triangle. The highs are relatively the same. You got a bunch of highs in this area where the market fell from. What's happening with these lows? These lows are becoming higher and higher. My guess is it's going to break through to the upside based on how that triangle should trade. That's just my guess. I got to actually see it break through. But I've got a nice little trend line over here going right over this point. Where if it goes below that, my GPS is telling me redirecting, turn right at the next intersection.
Order filled.
And I'm sure I got Brand X in this room trying to pick my brains for whatever he could steal out of me. And swipe it, put it on his little blog. Where he's always wrong. 90% of the time. I don't want to talk about who he is. I'm not into getting sued this week. So we'll see how that weekly chart looks like. Are we going to break out of that little triangle? Ascending triangle. Well, let's remove this line. That's that.
And
here's the
slime with all these bottoms.
Didn't get the move that I thought I would get out of it
because this retraced right back.
Not seeing much here. Let's remove this line right now. And what do we have over here? That's support. That's what our market's holding. 464 and 4/8. To say 465 and 4/8. Well, what happens if it takes that line out? Are we going to continue? If we take that line out down here, we'll probably be getting ready to go below this line. This line is going higher and higher every week. So we'll probably be taking that out. Let's see. One more quickie.
Order
like
filled.
junkie when it comes to technical analysis and, you know. Let's see, all this talk of technical analysis, risk management are pretty well known, and even a bit contrived. Most market participants should understand stop loss. So where does the edge come from? Well, you're very optimistic. You are right in a sense there. You know, it's technical analysis is subjective, but if you do it the right way, you define what your risk is going to be. Everything is all about risk management. If you can't control your risk, you're dead. Without controlling risk, you're pretty much dead. The edge comes from the discipline. You got it. The edge comes from the discipline. The edge comes from me jumping in on a breakout trade when no one's going to buy it at that price. But I'm buying it because I'm buying it at a higher price because I'm seeing a breakout. I have the edge. That's breaking out for a reason. I don't know what the reason is, but I know how charts trade. I give myself the edge. I have an edge. When you talk about all this talk of technical analysis, risk management are pretty well known, and even a bit contrived. Well, you know what? To me, it's not. Because I've got to define risk based on technical analysis. When I have certain trend lines or certain levels, that's my risk. I know what I'm going to lose on a trade. I'm not totally sure what I'm going to make on a trade, but I know what I'm going to lose. And it's not going to be a lot. And I'm going to call this a day right now because it's 10 after, almost 10 after. And in good traffic, I'm probably 20 minutes away. And I got to be there by 4. So what I'm going to do is I'll call this a day, everybody. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing this Friday because I'll probably be Tuesday. I could still be in the hospital on Friday. So I don't know what's going on. I expected time in the hospital is going to be 3 to 5 days from what I understand. And the same thing with any subscribers to my newsletter. Most likely won't be done Tuesday. But I'm in the hospital and see, I'm sure I'll be able to get, it done on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But I can't be doing a session like this, from a hospital bed and talking about that. So that won't happen. So everybody have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for all the good wishes with surgery, and keep your screens green, and we'll try to keep this going here. I really didn't get into much of the year. I was more talking short-term trades, but again, that's my style. But the daily charts, I mean the monthly charts, those are what's going to show you what it looks like for the year, and where the market's going. We already talked about the S&Ps. Looks like it's going lower, but things can change. So again, everybody have a wonderful weekend and a good next week. And I'll talk to you when I'm done with my surgery. So everybody have a great weekend and bye-bye.